Everyone from the UK going to the USA by air or sea, even those just passing through, must fill out an electronic system for travel authorization, otherwise known as an ESTA, in advance. This video explains what an ESTA is, how to get it, how long it lasts for, what to be wary of, and how to avoid paying more than the official $21 per person fee. An ESTA is an online system that tells you in advance whether you're eligible to travel to the United States under the Visa Waiver Program. It replaced the old system of filling out a green I-94W piece of paper, commonly thought of as the Visa Waiver Form, on a plane into the US. With that method, you'd only find out on arrival if US security decided you didn't fit under the Visa Waiver Program, based on what you put on the form and any further questions asked. Now travelers have to complete an ESTA and know in advance whether they qualify to travel or not, minimizing the possible loss of plane fares, hotels, and more. An ESTA is required for everyone entering the US by air or sea. If you cross a land border via Canada or Mexico, then you need to complete a handwritten I-94W form costing $6 per person, unless you already have an approved ESTA. It is important to understand successfully applying for an ESTA does not mean you're automatically allowed to enter the USA. It just establishes that you're eligible to travel. Only a US Customs and Border Protection officer at the point of entry can decide whether you're actually allowed in or not. He or she may decide that you don't fit the Visa Waiver Program criteria after all. It's completely at their discretion. Although this sounds scary, there are very few horror stories of being denied entry, unless you fail to declare a criminal record, for example, especially since ESTA was introduced. ESTA applications now have a $21 fee attached to them. It went up from $14 last month, and that equates to $84 for a family of 4, with $4 covering the ESTA administration and rather bizarrely $17 going to a fund to promote US tourism. This isn't a visa charge for entry, it's a charge for getting permission to attempt to enter the country. The ESTA system accepts payment via PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, and Discover. Even if your ESTA is rejected, you'll still be charged the admin fee of $4 for applying. So, how to apply for an ESTA? Just before booking flights or accommodation, the very first thing to do is to apply for your permit to travel, just in case you're rejected, so you don't lose the flight or hotel money, or forget nearer the time of the journey. Simply visit the US Department of Homeland Security's special ESTA webpage. I've put the direct link in the description box below for you. The instructions are available in a choice of languages, but your responses must be in English. It's far from a slick website, so pay careful attention as you complete each page. It should only take around about 5 minutes. You will be asked for your UK contact details, including passport number and expiry, plus the address where you're staying in the States. The latter can be added or amended at a later time, but approximate information is often sufficient. You may be told within seconds if your application has been accepted or rejected. Otherwise, you'll be asked to check your application status later, as a decision can take up to 72 hours. An ESTA lasts for 2 years, or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. Once it runs out, you'll need to apply for a new one. Although you don't need to present the reference number at border protection when you land on US soil, print it out and bring it to the airport. That's because some airlines may require the printout upon check-in, so check with yours. Rather frustratingly, it is not emailed to you. However, if you do lose it, it's possible to get it back on the ESTA website. You should click on Retrieve My Application and enter your name, passport number, and date of birth. This is also a handy way to check if you're still covered by a previous ESTA, as the site will also tell you when your ESTA expires. The ESTA authorization can only be given via online application. US Customs and Border Protection says a friend, relative, travel agent, or third party can complete an ESTA on behalf of an individual. So if you know someone without internet access, you can help them register if they're making a trip to the States. Please watch out for websites demanding a fee for the ESTA. If you search the internet for ESTA, you'll discover many that claim to submit an application on your behalf. Not only will you be paying money unnecessarily, you can't be certain it will be a legal submission and acceptance, so you may still get turned away when you get to the US. The US Department for Homeland Security says it can't stop this, but its logo is trademarked, so only if you see this will it be legit. Though the scam websites do have very good imitations. The easiest thing to remember is use the link in the description box below, as it's the official route. All ESTAs have an end date. either 2 years from being granted or when your passport expires, whichever is sooner. If yours runs out or you need a new one if you get a new passport, simply apply again in exactly the same way you did the first time. This will give you a new reference number plus expiry date, and your old ESTA will automatically cease to be valid. If you haven't completed the ESTA before travelling, or you did it but were declined, you may not be allowed to board your outbound flight. It's worth remembering that anyone can apply for ESTA on your behalf. And although the Department of Homeland Security recommends giving at least 72 hours for a decision to be made, it often only takes seconds. Of course, if you're rejected, you'll lose the cost of your flights and any associated expenses such as hotel bookings and car hire if they are non-refundable, as insurance providers will almost certainly not cover you for this. Travelers denied an ESTA should apply for a non-immigrant visa at a US embassy. They'll still be charged a $4 admin fee for the rejected ESTA application. Here are some other things to consider. Who's eligible and who needs an ESTA? You'll need an ESTA if you're a citizen of one of the 39 countries which are part of the US's visa waiver program, which the UK is, if you don't have a US visitor's visa, if you won't stay in the US for longer than 90 days, if you're only traveling to the States for business or pleasure, if you have a return or onward bound tickets, or on behalf of all infants and children. If you don't qualify for an ESTA and need a visa, for example if you're staying in the US for longer than 90 days or will be working there, you need to see the US Embassy website for full help. I'll put that link in the description box below for you as well. If you get a new passport, you need to get a new ESTA. If you've lost your passport, it was stolen, or it's significantly damaged and must be replaced, your new passport will have a new number, so you must apply for a new ESTA. If you're renewing your passport, your ESTA will have the same expiry date if it hasn't expired already, so you will have to reapply with a new passport number too. You need an ESTA if travelling to Puerto Rico, Hawaii, or the US Virgin Islands. As Puerto Rico, Guam, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, and the US Virgin Islands are governed by the US, you need an ESTA before travelling to them too. You also need one if travelling to Hawaii or Alaska, which, while far-flung, are both US states. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like. Are you planning on going to the US anytime soon, or have you done so recently? Let me know how you fared applying for your ESTA in the comment section below, and any top tips will be very much appreciated. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and do share this video with anyone else you think might benefit from it. Thanks again for watching, I'll see you in the next one.